Bonjour tout le monde. Today is another live French lesson. So last week we were looking at the present tense conjugations. We're looking at some of the things with the ER verbs, IR verbs, and RE, and the third group. So today we're going to look a little bit in the past tense using the passé composé, and that is a composed tense. Passé composé, past composed, and it functions. I mean, its conjugation is a little bit more like the present perfect in English, but its usage is like the preterite, meaning like I went, I saw, I ate. It would be some of those usage. So I'm going to share my screen so you can see some of these conjugations and just review a little bit what we saw last week, and then move on to this week. So last week we looked at some of these ER verbs like parler. So the pronunciation is basically the same for the I, you, he, she, it, and the they form. And then the we form and you plural or you formal has two different forms. So there's je parle, tu parles, il parle, elle parle, ça parle, nous parlons, vous parlez, il, elle parle. So we have that form. And if I was asking questions and saying things in the negative, I'd say je parle français, je ne parle pas français, est-ce que tu parles français? And then using the inversion, switching the syntax, parles-tu français? For the IR verbs, we have je choisis, tu choisis, il choisit, elle choisit, ça choisit, nous choisissons, vous choisissez, ils choisissent, elles choisissent. And for the RE ending here, like vendre, comprendre, we have je vends, je comprends, tu vends, tu comprends, il comprend, elle comprend, ça comprend, ou il vend, elle vend, ça vend. Nous vendons, nous comprenons, vous vendez, vous comprenez, ils vendent, ils comprennent, elles vendent, elles comprennent. And making these in the negative, je comprends le français, je ne comprends pas le français. Est-ce que tu comprends le français? And using an inversion here, comprends-tu le français? And use this ending here. So you have those. Now, in the past tense, we're going to need the verb avoir as an auxiliary verb. So we have, that's for the majority of verbs in French. So we have avoir, j'ai, tu as, il a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont. Then you add the past participle. For most regular verbs, like in the ER group, we have just, you take the infinitive, take off the R, and put an accent on the E. And the pronunciation of parler E with an accent is the same as the infinitive. So if you kind of just take the infinitive in your mind and the pronunciation of it and just add the avoir conjugation in front of it, you have the past tense. So you have the verb parler, and then you add a conjugation of avoir, then you have j'ai parlé. The spelling changes, you have the different here's, but the pronunciation is the same, parler, parler. So j'ai parlé, tu as parlé, il a parlé, elle a parlé, ça a parlé, nous avons parlé, vous avez parlé, ils ont parlé, elles ont parlé. So make sure you're doing a liaison here in the plural for the z sound, because if you have a s sound, you'll be using a different verb, être, like ils sont, but that would be a mistake here with the pronunciation. You need to be using a z sound for the liaison on there. So j'ai bien parlé, je n'ai pas bien parlé. You have the ne and pas around the conjugation of avoir, and then you might add an adverb like bien, and then you have at the end here the past participle. Or est-ce que tu as bien parlé? Like, did you speak well? I spoke well. I didn't speak well. And this inversion, as-tu bien parlé? Okay. For another, like the IR verb, the ending, the past participle here is choisi. J'ai choisi, tu as choisi, il a choisi, elle a choisi, ça a choisi, nous avons choisi, vous avez choisi, ils ont choisi, elles ont choisi. And with vendre, comprendre, we have an irregular past participle here, this vendu or compris. Tu as j'ai vendu, j'ai compris, tu as vendu, tu as compris, il a vendu, il a compris, elle a vendu, elle a compris, nous avons vendu, nous avons compris, vous avez vendu, vous avez compris, ils ont vendu, ils ont compris, elles ont vendu, elles ont compris. So this is I sold, I understood, and then j'ai choisi, that's I chose. So j'ai bien compris, like I understood well. Je n'ai pas bien compris, I didn't understand well. Est-ce que tu as bien compris? Did you understand? Did you understand well? As-tu bien compris? So with the inversion form there. Now there are verbs that don't use avoir as the auxiliary verbs. There are verbs that use être. So what happens here, I'm going to use the example aller, to go. So this, we add this extra E or an F and an S if it's masculine or feminine singular or masculine mixed plural or feminine plural. So we have je suis allé, so that's just the E with the accent aigu, or the je suis allé with the extra E, so that's a feminine form. And we have tu es allé, so that, or tu es allé, for the tu es allé, the pronunciation doesn't change, the spelling does. And il, ça, like il est allé, and then we have the liaison with the T sound, il est allé, ça est allé, elle est allée, so with the extra E at the end there. Nous sommes allés, the S, so it's plural. Nous sommes allés, there's an E with an S, so I can't hear the difference between these two, but it's in the spelling when I write this that you'll see that. Vous êtes allés, vous êtes allés. So here, again, this is plural with an S, and this is feminine plural with the ES. And ils sont allés, that's in the plural, and elles sont allées. So the sont allés, you can't hear the difference, but with that here with the ils sont, elles sont, that's when you know that this is a mixed group or a male group or a female group for that, but you don't hear the difference for the aller. You have these conjugations and with the liaisons on there. And in terms of the verbs that use this, we have, this is a great visual from this website, cliffnotes.com, and study guide for French, and the French for the passé composé and the passé composé with être. So this is these 17 verbs that use être as auxiliary verb. So we have to be born, naître, devenir, to become, mourir, to die, tomber, to fall, monter, to like go up or climb stairs, descendre, to go down, rester, to stay or rest, arriver, entrer, to arrive and enter, venir, to come, aller, to go, sortir, to go out, partir, to leave, revenir, to come back, rentrer, to go back, retourner, to return, and passer, to pass. So these 17 verbs, this is an excellent visual, are using être as their auxiliary verb. And so this same thing that happened with aller for the extra E or the extra E plus an S, you would do the same thing with these past participles. And each one of these might have a different past participle. I would highly recommend checking something like Wiktionary. So let me put an example here for, let's say, comprendre. This is the conjugation. So this one is excellent because it also has the pronunciation and the phonetics. But you would have, here is the past participle, compris. And here it's in the simple tenses, and in a compound, it's saying you need to use avoir here. So you would have to go check the conjugation table for avoir, and then you would add the past participle here. But so far today, last week, we were looking at the present simple, comprend, 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 comprenons, comprenez, comprennent. And then today we're looking at the present perfect, the passé composé with avoir, and the past participle here, compris. Okay, so, and next week we will be looking at some examples with like aller for the future kind of futur proche, like the near future, like I'm going to do something, and the simple future, like I will do something. Okay, so If you have any questions or comments or suggestions about these videos and about the content that we're producing here for these beginning lessons in French, feel free to leave a comment. And if you like these videos, please like, subscribe, share, and there'll be more content coming up next week. So thank you very much for watching and have a great day. À plus. Ciao.